What does Warhammer The Old World mean for you and your existing Warhammer armies? In this video we're going to be exploring some options on what you can do with your old armies to update them for the new Old World setting. Here's some of the stuff that we know so far. We know the 20mm bases are going to upsize to 25mm. We know that Games Workshop are going to provide rules for all the 8th edition armies in Warhammer The Old World, and we know that Games Workshop desperately want you to buy as much as possible from them. So the change in base size is going to be the biggest issue for most of your existing armies. There's quite a few different ways that we can cope with this, and the first one is what I'm going to use for my existing tabletop ready armies. Now, let me show you what I'm doing. So as you can see here, I have quite a number of tabletop ready armies in these cases. I also have quite a few non-tabletop ready armies waiting for something to happen to them. So the first option is one that you've probably all thought about already. For your existing fully painted tabletop ready armies, the simplest and easiest thing to do is to get yourself some movement trays with 20mm holes in them that are sized as if they were on 25mm bases. I'll stick a couple of pictures of these in here now. Find them, here we go. Now, for me, all the armies I've got that are fully tabletop ready, I'm going to do that with, because I just can't see any real benefit to changing the size of the bases, and I would like to have some armies that are ready to go straight away. The next option that you've got is fully rebasing your entire army. Now, I'm not going to fully rebase anything that's tabletop ready, but what I am going to do is I'm going to uprate the bases to the 25mm ones on anything that I haven't completed. So take this High Elf army here. This is a couple of Island of Blood sets and some random old stuff. I've only done one test miniature to see how they were going to work out. Looks a little bit like that, it's very dark. Anyway, one test miniature, it's on a 20mm base, and what I'm going to do is pull this off its 20mm base, stick it on a 25 and base the entire army on some 25s. I've actually ordered a couple hundred of them already. So the simplest thing to do for rebasing, well, upsize basing, rebasing for those kind of armies is just to stick them on the bases that you need them on to start with. The next option is sticking your 20mm bases into a 25mm base adapter. Now there's a lot of 25mm bases that have got a little space for the 20mm base to pop inside. That's all very well and good, but I just personally can't see the reason for doing that when you can use movement trays in the same situation and still allow your army to be used as a playable, immediately ready army for basically any other edition of Warhammer or any other game like Kings of War and stuff like that, where the 20mm sort of base size fits into the unit sizes. So based on that, here's some of the work that I've got ahead of me. So here's my tabletop ready dwarfs. I'm just going to put these onto uprated movement trays to basically take up the space that they need to on the table and still make them available for old school, old edition Warhammer. There's a lot of cool old lead minis here, and they're basically perfect for Oldhammer. So these ones, definitely not rebasing. Next thing I've got to do is think about my Skaven army. I've got a Skaven army fully painted as well in a couple of these different boxes here. I think I'm going to do the same thing with the Skaven army just because of the amount of effort involved in uprating the base sizes. In this box we've got a Oldhammer skeleton army, the really old skeletons from a very long ago edition. With these, because they're not a completed army, I still have to decide whether I'm going to update the base sizes or just chuck them into a movement tray. I've based quite a lot of them, but they're not actually finished or painted, so either or is fine with these. This High Elf army, so much of it's still on the sprue. It's basically a couple of Island of Blood boxes and some other additional stuff that I've bought over the years. There's a reasonable amount of lead stuff in here that's glued to its bases, but I don't think what I'm going to do with this. I think with this, it's definitely just going to go straight onto the 25mm bases. Like, subscribe and summon the horned rat by ringing the bell 13 times.